In this video, I'm going to answer the age-old question of why every detailer needs to have their own system. Because the amount of detailers I see who solely rely on WhatsApp is disturbing. It's either WhatsApp or it's like a go higher level or something along those lines, a CRM that's supposed to manage everything. But the problem is with these softwares and these apps, even just WhatsApp, they're not tailored for service business owners. And we now live in the magical age of AI where you can build it all yourself. And this is what the video is about. So I'm just going to give you a brief rundown now of the CRM that I built and how you can replicate it. So you can now see the dashboard here. As I'm sure you can appreciate, I'm going to have to blur some bits out. So I do apologize for that. So yeah, this is the dashboard and I have everything that I need at a glance here, and this is adaptable to my mobile as well. This is the desktop version, of course, and as I say, everything at a glance is here. Some of the things do need tweaking, and there are obviously a final touches that need to be making. Like for example, I am not 643% up from last month. My figures are fairly consistent, so that's not right. And again, you can expect some teething issues if you're going to build your own CRM business, but that is part and parcel. And over time, with the use of Claude, you can fine tune it, but you just sort of want the basis there to start with. So we've got our revenue, total leads, jobs this week, notifications. We got a revenue trend. Again, we've got a monthly timescale as well, lead funnel, how many are being contacted, how many new, and so on, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, we've got our areas down here. So these are the areas that I would cover as a business, messages. So these are like, say, the unread ones, and then any activity. So this is sort of what I would look at a glance. The next section, we've got our clients. So every single client I've ever done a job for is all in here. And I do apologize again, I'm going to have to blur out their names for data protection purposes. But you get the idea. Leads in here, this is everything that everyone submitted, so we can see their details. So we've got their, or I can click it to be fair. So we give a full breakdown of the lead that we've received. So, you know, if we're running Meta or Facebook ads, we've got everything that we collect in here. So we've got name, phone number, email, where they're based, what they're looking to book, so the service, are they happy for us to call them, their vehicle, how would they like to be contacted, and that's basically everything I need to get things started. On the flip side to that, and this is something that's a little bit complicated, and this is what actually took the time to build, we've got our messages tab. So I have a virtual contact number, so it's completely separate to my own personal mobile number. But what I would then do, for example, is if I have a campaign running on Meta ads and people respond to that, I then have an automation that goes out that sends out sort of these default messages, as you can see. So it picks out what vehicle they have, it obviously picks out their name and sends out an automated message. And if they don't reply, they then obviously get some follow-ups and so on. But this is all built into the CRM, so it does it all automatically, and naturally I have not sent any of these messages. Same with email, so if they have obviously said they want to be contacted by email, then that's what they'll get. They'll get an email version of it instead. This is what obviously takes the time because you've got to manage people's preferences, then obviously get that to be triggered on the CRM and so on. So I'm not expecting people to build this off the bat, but this is just basically something that is possible if you did want to dedicate the time to it. Naturally, I'm always going to dedicate the time to it myself just because of how busy we get, and I don't have the time to respond to a lot of people. Here we obviously have our job, so everything that we sort of do day to day. Invoices, so you'd produce every invoice in here. So we've got like a calendar here as well, so you know, we got days that we block off, days that we've obviously done work, days that I've dedicated to like YouTube or content or whatever else. This is all here and it's all synced with everything that I ever do. So if obviously I've got a job, it will show on my own personal calendar and it will also show on the CRM. So everything is all managed in here. Automations, this is massive for me. So for example, if I have a job that I've completed, I turn this one on and it will automatically say, thank you so much for choosing my business. Hope you liked the results. Here's the invoice, and it will automatically produce the invoice for me as well. Review request, so this is triggered to go out a day after a job. If the person hasn't left a review already, I'll leave this on and it will be sent by the contact method that we've already done most of our communicating through. So if it started over text and we've done the job, they'll then get a text the following day to request a review, and it's massively helped out. But I don't have these on at the moment. The main ones that I have are just the follow-ups after no reply for 24 hours. So this is if a lead's come in and I haven't had a response to the original automated message, there will then be a follow-up. If I don't get a response to that, then there's one after 72 hours. And at that point, I just let them go because again, they're clearly not too interested if they're not going to reply to 3 messages. But you get the gist. Inventory is a massive one, so every product, everything that I ever have, I always keep tabs on. If things drop below sort of 20% in terms of quantity available to me, so if I'm running out of all-purpose cleaner, then it will automatically reorder it as soon as I put the trigger on my CRM that we are running out. It will just order it through Amazon for me, and obviously with Amazon Prime you just get it the next day. The other things are sort of fairly basic, I don't really need to go into it. So we've obviously got the full analytics, so that breaks down sort of our finances for the whole year. Again, you don't need to see all of that. Same for the accounting as well, so all our taxes, everything like that at all. Employees, so anyone that we subcontract, so a lot of the time I can't necessarily complete the work myself. I will then give the job to another detailer, naturally take a percentage of that, so that's all taken into account there. Then availability, fairly similar. You can block certain dates, so for example, if I don't want to work on the 12th of or the 11th of August, I can then put a reason why, block the date, and then that appears across everything. So if someone were to now try and book through my website, they would now see that the 11th of August is blocked because I've just blocked it on the CRM. So that's a massive thing. I have Sunday auto blocked because I don't really like to work Sundays anyway, but every other day is available. And the massive main benefit is you can customize it to how you want, and you don't have to fork out the best part of £100 every month. The main problem with the current softwares that we would usually use, like a Go Higher Level or a HubSpot like I used to use, is that they're built for bigger businesses, multiple people, massive teams. I'm just a one-man band, and I imagine most of you guys are exactly the same. But these other softwares we're talking about, they don't really care what you do. They just try and make a broad product that hopefully you can adjust to, but it should be the other way around. You should be able to build a software that adjusts to you, and this is what we want to do. And to be clear about one thing, I built this CRM and it did take a bit of time, I will be honest, but once it's built, I never need to touch it again. And I have no coding experience. I just use Claude. So if you haven't got Claude already, just download it. It's completely free. I would suggest getting the Pro plan, which I think in the UK is about £18 a month. It is virtually nothing. And if you obviously run a business, it's a business expense. So let's get into it then and actually build the CRM for yourself. So here's a few prompts that you will need, and they'll appear on screen. All you'd really need to put into Claude Code is build me a simple CRM for a mobile car detailing business. I need to track customers, so that includes name, contact number, email, vehicle make and model. I need to track jobs, so the date, the service type, the price that I'm charging, and any notes that I want to add. Obviously, I want to calculate revenue for the week, month, and so on. To track inventory, I want to be able to add my calendar, and that correspond with my website, and I want to track clients. That is all you'd really need to do to start with. I have my Claude set up in the back end to ask me any questions before it goes ahead and does any tasks. So it will basically iterate or have further requests to make sure it is fine-tuned. If you haven't done that to the back end of your Claude, it's not a problem. All you need to do after that prompt that you've given it, just say, ask me any questions, and it should trigger then some questions to be asked. It is highly likely with Claude Code, it might take a few sessions because you've only got a finite amount of tokens. And with these tokens, you have to spend them sparingly. And this is massive because if you don't have automations in place, which is again, something quite complicated to build, if you request automations through Claude Code, you'll see exactly why it's complicated to build. But yeah, it's just about linking everything together, and the APIs, that's what makes it more difficult. But we are launching a school community soon, and this will be a full breakdown within there. But for the time being, it's not actually necessary. But all you really need is actually just reminders. Just something showing you there's someone that hasn't booked or needs a maintenance clean. You need a system automating that and reminding you of that. So this is a great way to do it. And if you really wanted, you can screenshot my CRM and just give it like it as a template. If you were to go to Claude, screen grab it and say, I want a CRM built like this with these same tabs, everything built out, it will do exactly that for you. Now, what we need to talk about is actually hosting it, because it's all well and good getting the code and everything like that from Claude Code, but you need to be able to host it somewhere. And this is when Netlify comes into play. This is the place that I use to host my sites. So if I go here to netlify.com and I go to sign in, you can see my projects here. So for example, we have got my website, and that is all here as well. So again, it's all managed in one area. And this is how you can see that the CRM and my website would be connected. All you'd really need to do is go here, back to the home page, projects, you'll see an item at the top, start a new project. You can describe it, which isn't actually necessary, because what you should get from Claude is a file. They will do it in a file and it'll basically be broken down into multiple parts, but you basically want to drag the whole folder in here. Once you do so, it will then update everything. And this video isn't to show you really so much how to do things. It's more just informing you that these things are possible, because it is basically just a knowledge gap. In this industry, I think a lot of us get wrapped up in what we're actually doing in terms of the physical sense, the actual physical work. But if you can make your job easier on the back end, so running the actual business itself, all you need to concentrate is actually doing the detailing work, which is what's making you money at the end of the day. If you keep your health in check and everything like that at all, then yeah, you can just have your CRM basically run your business for you. Yeah, so look, it looks like it's been done. If we go open production deploy, and it's here, it's been added. Yeah, obviously these figures aren't right, but you know, it's been added, and that's that really. So there you go. It is that simple. You know how to build it, you know how to host it. It is running. If you have any questions, just ask Claude. You don't need to ask me. You can ask me, you're welcome to do so, but if there's any sort of adjustments, and it is something that you need to fiddle around with, so make sure you go through every single section. If something's not working properly, if you can't add something to your inventory, or you can't delete a client, or you can't add your revenue, book jobs, add something to your calendar, then you need to get Claude to go back and fix it. And it will definitely troubleshoot anything for you. And this is what's the time consuming part, because you will be doing this. There will be bugs and there will be improvements that need to be made. But if you go back over a few days and weeks to iterate and improve, then yeah, by the time you're looking in 2, 3, 4 weeks time, you'll have a perfectly working CRM like I do-ish. And this massively helps because I don't have to work any harder. I work a lot less because of this software that I've built, and I can just concentrate on doing the physical work. So if I've got leads coming in that all been automatically responded to, it's semi-automatic. I do want to make that clear. I don't have an AI responding to all my clients for me. It's basically just the automation. So if an automation's going out and they do respond, then I'll pick up manually and make it feel as personal to them as possible. So the way I know to do that best is by having that human touch, which is obviously me, the person running the business. But if they haven't responded to those automated messages, I will never at any point send them a message, because the CRM will just do it all for me. And this is how I've managed to grow my business to over 6 figures a year in a very short period of time, because I'm able to utilize this technology, which I think just again more people need to be aware of. I have by far the best system in my local area, and no one can compete because they don't understand, they don't know about it. I'm sorry if this video is a little bit all over the place, and I do appreciate it's probably a lot to take on board, but the actual process, I just want to make clear, is so simple. Just get AI to do it, man. Just do it, man. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you'll love the last one. I'll link it here. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment. Please drop a subscribe. We've got 2 subscribers. It's a joke. But if there's any questions, any future videos you want to see, just let me know. Thank you.